What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the Switch Podcast, man. I am your host, Q1 Humphreys. Y'all see the title of this video? We're going to talk about the absolute mess that the Western Conference is, and we're going to take a look at their standings, and we're going to go through a couple of these teams and see how well I think they really are and how good they really are and how good they're going to be throughout the rest of the season. Now, before I go any further, I just want to read off, kind of run through the standings at 11:55 on December 7th, Saturday morning. So there are definitely games tonight, so there's a good chance that these standings may not be the same when you're watching this video. But at the point where I'm recording this, these are the current NBA standings. I'm going to put them on the screen so y'all can see rather than just seeing me and hearing me talk about it. So with the first seed, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder with a 17-5 record. Number 2, we have the Houston Rockets with a 15-8 record. 3, Dallas Mavericks, 15-8 record. 4, Memphis Grizzlies, 15-8. Number 5, the Golden State Warriors, 13-9. The Los Angeles Clippers at 6, 14-10. So those are the 6 teams that if the season ended today, which is far from over, those 6 teams will not be in the play-in. Now let's take a look at these next 4 teams and how crazy this play-in tournament would be if the season ended today. At number 7, we have the Phoenix Suns with 12-9 record. Number 8, we have the Denver Nuggets with an 11-9 record. At number 9, we have the Minnesota Timberwolves with a 12-10 record. And at number 10, we have the Los Angeles Lakers with a 12-11 record. And there are also a couple teams. I'm going to talk about these last 2 teams as well because they're kind of in the race too. The San Antonio Spurs 11-12 at the 11th seed. And the Sacramento Kings at 11-13 at the 12th seed. Now, those 12 teams I think are going to be battling for the playoffs/play-in spots for the entire season. The last 3 are definitely in the Cooper Flag sweepstakes. The Pelicans did not want to be down there, but with injuries and stuff, they have kind of just fallen apart. The Blazers, we knew the Blazers are young. They're not really trying to win nothing right now. The Jazz, we know how Danny Ainge is over there with the Jazz, trying to get them draft picks, trying to draft superstar talent with all those assets he got. But I just wanted to kind of start from the top and talk about the certain teams, how I feel about them right now and how I feel about them in the future. I'm going to go ahead and rip the bandage off. OKC is the first seed. I think the Thunder are going to the finals. I thought that before the season started. I never sat down in front of a camera and said that, but that is how I felt. Like in the spaces that I'm in with my friends and with people I know personally that talk to me, I said, OKC going to the finals. And I think you look at last season, they were first in the West, and they got bounced in the second round in 6 games by the Dallas Mavericks. And what was their issue? They had no size. Yes, you have a 7'2", 7'3", however tall he is, in Chet Holmgren, but besides him, you have no size. And he's not really a true 5 to me. He's really a 4 to me because he's not really that big. He's a rim protector, but he's not a guy that's going to bang down low. That's not him. They go out and get Isaiah Hartenstein. They replace Josh Giddey with Alex Caruso, which is, I think, even though Caruso has been bad offensively this season, defensively adds another guy that's going to actually stifle opposing teams' perimeter score. Isaiah Hartenstein just came back from injury a couple of games ago, and he's been playing really well ever since. And the thing is, with him playing, Shai Gilgeous' numbers is going up as well because he has a guy that's gonna set a pick that is great. He's a great playmaker off the blitz. You know, if you blitz the guy coming off a pick, you pass it to the center and he can, find the open guy in the corner or find a cutter or whatever. That is what Isaiah Hartenstein does. And I just love what they got going on right here. 17-5. So they've been dominant through these first 22 games. Not to mention Chet Holmgren has missed a bunch of games recently with his injury. At number 2, we got the Houston Rockets, and this is a big surprise for me. I was preparing to do a video on the Rockets a couple of days ago, but they started losing games, so I said, okay, let me see if that was just fool's gold at the start of the season. But they're 15-8. They're playing really good basketball. Defensively, they're a top 3 defense in the league right now, and that has been just a catalyst for them being this good this early. We're gonna see how good they are as the season goes on. I don't see them staying number 2 for the whole season, but I think they may fall to like that 6, 7, 8 range. Last year they almost made the play-in, but they fell a bit short, and I think that momentum from the end of last season is carried over into this season. So I don't want to call them pretenders, but I don't think they're going to be. I don't think I can look at them and say, yeah, they can get out of the West. They started out good, but I don't know if they're going to keep that up throughout the rest of the season. Number 3, Dallas Mavericks. I'm going to say they're a contender. The Dallas Mavericks are contenders. They made the finals last year. The duo of Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic is going well. They made a couple key additions to the team this offseason. They went and got Quentin Grimes, who's given good minutes. Najee Marshall, who played really well when Luka Doncic went down. Klay Thompson, of course. Klay's going to be Klay. He may have an off day. He may have a Klay day. Whatever day he gets is what you really got to live with. But a guy that shoots at his career low last year, 39% from 3, is a guy I would want on my team beside Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic. I'm sorry. You also got your bigs. PJ Washington's been playing great this season. Derek Lively's taking more of a starting role this season. So that means you got Daniel Gafford, who's a starting caliber center, on your bench. The team's really deep, and I think they have a real shot of getting back to the finals this season if everything stays healthy. Number 4, the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, the Grizzlies I don't know if y'all watched the Swishathon, but I dropped a video on the Grizzlies over there. I said Ja Morant and these boys are back. I said Ja might have an MVP season. Not looking like that right now. But the way they're playing, they're playing really well. Ja Morant just got back from injury a couple of games ago, but even in his absence, they're winning games. And for them to be 15-8 with their best player missing a lot of time shows that they're good. You know, they're doing the same thing. They're gonna get out, get in your face, play defense, and run. And that's how they've played, and that's how they've been to get this 15-8 record. And I don't think they're going to come out the West. I wouldn't say they're a pretender, but I think there's a tier of Western Conference teams, and they're like in that second tier of teams that might shock you versus teams that are actually contending to get to the finals. Number 5, we got the Golden State Warriors. Now, the Golden State Warriors, kind of a crazy situation. They started out the season on fire. They were first in the West for a good minute. Then they started losing. I want to say they've lost 6 straight games. Let me see if I can see it here. No, they've lost they've lost 7 of their last 10 games. They were on a 4 or 5 game win streak, but I believe they won their last game. Not last game, because they lost to the Timberwolves last night. Their game before that, they beat the Rockets without Steph Curry. So the Warriors, you know, they started out hot, but I think injuries kind of messed them up. D'Anthony Melton was a big guy that came in that they brought in the offseason that was going to be a big piece of their depth. He's going to be out for the remainder of the season, and missing him is going to it definitely derailed them so far, and it might continue to do that. You know, we'll see how much they stay afloat. But I said in my Swishathon episode, I said they're going to be fighting for the play-in, and I think they started out hot, and they're kind of regressing back to the mean of what that team is going to be, and that's going to be a team that's going to be fighting to either stay out of the play-in or they're going to be fighting to get into the playoffs. Number 6. This is a big shock for me, the Los Angeles Clippers. I thought this team was going to fall off the face of the earth. You lose Paul George. Kawhi Leonard's out indefinitely. They say he may be back before Christmas. And it's just James Harden and a bunch of guys. But the way James Harden has orchestrated and led this team, it's been very spectacular to watch. You know, he's not that James Harden of old where he's going to go drop 40 points and get tripled over a game. You know, that's not really what he is. He's a guy that's going to give you 20 points, 11 assists, and maybe 7, 8 boards. You know, that's who he is right now, and him doing that gets other guys involved. Zubac might be the best year of his career right now at the center position. He's playing really well. Norman Powell has stepped up to be in that Paul George role that was left when Paul George went to the 76ers, and he's flourishing. He's absolutely flourishing. This is a guy that we saw play really well last season for the Clippers in a smaller role. We saw him play well his last couple years with the Raptors. But now that he's really that number 2 guy before Kawhi Leonard comes back, we can really see how good he really is, and he's playing out of his mind. Number 7, the Phoenix Suns. Now, the Phoenix Suns, they're hard to gauge for me. They went into the offseason when they got a point guard. They got a new coach, Mike Budenholzer. And you know, at the start of the season, it looked great. I want to say they were 8-2, or they had a really 9-2. They had a really good record. Then Kevin Durant went down, and he missed like 2 or 3 weeks, and they started losing a bunch of games. Kevin Durant came back. They won a couple of games, and then he's hurt again, and they're losing a couple of games. I think their record with Kevin Durant is like 9-2, 8-1. They've only lost a couple of games with Kevin Durant, but the games without Kevin Durant, they have a losing record. So it talks. You know, I think the story with the Suns is still the same. If they're healthy, they're good. If they're not healthy, they're not good. I think this year's roster is better than last year's roster. So they can kind of, I guess, get away with not having Kevin Durant or one of these top 3 guys. But the team is still built around the top 3 guys. It's still built around Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. And if one of those 3 guys are out, then it's going to be very hard to string together a bunch of wins with guys who are going to have to step in and replace Kevin Durant, and they've never been asked to do anything like that. So I'm not going to say they're contenders. I'm going to say they're in that second tier of Western Conference teams where they could shock somebody. I wouldn't be surprised if Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and them boys go on a crazy run in the playoffs just because they're that good at the game of basketball. Number 8, the Denver Nuggets. The Denver Nuggets are number 8 in the Western Conference. And that just shows how crazy this conference is. The team with the best player in the world is number 8. You know, I think a big thing with the Nuggets is that they have lost depth. They've lost a lot of depth. They let KCP walk this past offseason. KCP was their 3-and-D guy. He was playing all NBA defense type of defense last year, and they don't have that anymore. They replaced that with Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook has his days. You know, they still got Jamal Murray, who I think might have regressed heavily. Jamal Murray is not as good as he was. I don't know if he's dealing with any kind of injury or whatever, but he's not playing the best basketball. And you got Jokic. You got Jokic putting up historic numbers. Jokic might be the only guy that does not fall victim to voter fatigue because he's playing that good. Now they don't go up them standings, then he probably won't win another MVP. But if they do go up the standings, I don't see no reason why Jokic will not win a 4th MVP and a 3rd MVP in a row. He's playing that good. He's having triple-double after triple-double, 20 points, 20 rebounds after every, it's become normal. It's like, oh, Jokic did that again? Jokic had 37, 18, and 13 again. Like, it's become normal for him. And I don't know how much he can carry this team this season. There's so much talent in the West, but I'm still going to leave them as contenders just because they have that championship pedigree and they know what it takes to get the job done. And you got a guy like Jokic, like I said, is the best player in the world. He can take you there if you just give him just enough help. Number 9, the Minnesota Timberwolves. It makes me sick that they're this low. Because they're this low because of their own decisions. You make the Western Conference Finals last year, and you trade away your second best player for Julius Randle. Now, Julius Randle is no slouch, but their identity was the defense and the double big lineup. They don't have that anymore. So their defense has fallen off heavily compared to how it was last season. And offensively, they don't got the same spacing that they had with Karl-Anthony Towns. Yes, Anthony Edwards is playing a lot. I would say he's playing better than he was last season. He's not passing the ball. I think they still need a point guard because Mike Conley lets Ant do whatever he wants. But I guess when Anthony Edwards is that good, I would let him do what he wants too. But Julius Randle, I don't see the fit. I never saw the fit. Donte DiVincenzo has been really bad this year compared to how he was last year. I don't see the fit. They won 4 straight games. So it makes you think, okay, they won 4 straight games and they're still 9th. Like, good Lord, how bad did they start? But I think they will turn it around. You know, this is basically a whole new system now, like I said, when you bring in Julius Randle and lose Karl-Anthony Towns. So we just got to see them find their rhythm. And I think once we see them find their rhythm, they'll be back into the contender talk as well. You know, I'm giving a lot of teams benefit of the doubt. If I seen you be good, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to just rank teams based off the first 25, 23 games of the season. That would be naive and that would be foolish of me to do that. So I still think that the Timberwolves are contenders because they can get hot at the right time. They can get hot around February, March, and then make a run to the finals themselves. Number 10, the Los Angeles Lakers. This is another team that started out hot, just like the Warriors. They started out hot and then things kind of regressed back to the mean for this team. I'm going to go ahead and say they're in the second tier. They're in that second tier of Western Conference teams where they're not contenders to me, but they are teams that may shock one of the top teams in the playoffs. I think it all just boils down to too much reliance on LeBron James and Anthony Davis. We've seen LeBron James. He just had 39 last night against my Hawks, but the games before that, he just hasn't been that great. You know, and Anthony Davis, was playing MVP basketball at the start of the season. He's kind of regressed back to the mean as well. And I think they just put too much on their stars. They have depth. No, I'm sorry, they don't have depth. It's not enough. You know, they're trying different stuff. You know, Austin Reeves has played decently. I don't think he played last night, but Austin Reeves played decently when they moved D'Angelo Russell to the bench. LeBron's taking more of a point forward role again, you know, getting a bunch of assists, having the ball in his hands most of the time. But I don't know if the Lakers, I felt like when they started out hot, I had to ask, was it sustainable? And I don't think it is. They got to find a way to get more help for the Lakers, for the stars, and try to just make it more evenly distributed. You know, I just got to see, you know. People was excited for J.J. Redick taking over for Darvin Ham, but they said their record through the first 23 games is the exact same as it was last season. You know, because this is really the same team. And I think we cannot get fooled into the glitz and glamour of LeBron James playing great. He's going to be great. It's LeBron James. And them starting out hot, we got to realize, okay, this is still the same team that we've seen the past couple seasons, and nothing's really changed. And if they don't do something, nothing's going to change again. They may bounce in the first round. But you never know. They may shock something. I don't got them going too far in the playoffs. But they maybe they do something. You can't doubt LeBron and AD. You can't doubt them guys. But that's pretty much all I got for y'all today, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share with y'all folks. Put in the comment section who y'all think coming out the West. Who do y'all think is gonna make it out of this mess? It's like, this reminds me of like the Cars movie, the first Cars, when they would the opening. I want to say it was the opening. Race with Lightning McQueen. There was a bunch of pileup. Lightning McQueen jumped on the other car and then jumped. That's how this looks. There's a bunch of cars that are wrecking and they're mashing together. And we just got to see who's going to be a Lightning McQueen that's going to be able to get out of this mess, of this pileup that is happening in these standings. But that's all I got for y'all. Until next time, we out. Yeah.